It's like we feel like if you have to make like one movement, that is already like that's already so much on you, and we just don't want you to have to do that. Yeah, which actually it could be problematic if the other person likes helping you or would like to build a friendship with you and just want to do things for you. My first reaction to if anyone helps me with anything, I would be like, oh no, please don't help me. But over time, I've learned to accept that more, that that's a part of building a friendship. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like very unique because like at least when it comes to the, in Italy, things are very family based. Everybody's kind of around you all the time. So you kind of expect people to help you out most of the time. So the idea of refusing to help, not necessarily like out of malice, but just because, it's culturally different or just simply you don't want to bother them. It's very different. So that's a big culture shock. Like for people that come from my side of the woods, I guess.
And you have been teaching now for over a decade. Is there anything your students have taught you about learning Thai language?
The biggest thing I've learned from my students is that I have to make people want to learn. So I try to make practice fun. I try to bring in like cultural tidbits or some anecdotes that make learning enjoyable, because only when it's enjoyable that they want to keep it going. And there's no other way, because we all adults, we can choose to sit and have a Zoom class or not. I can't force them, but I can make them want to learn. So that's the biggest thing I've learned.
And that's very interesting to know because now, we can flip a little bit of the script. You've been teaching Thai for so long, but now you're also learning German. That's correct, right?
Yes. It's learning German.
So now from being a teacher, you go back to being a student. So what's the most surprising or maybe difficult part about going from this sort of massive change from teaching to being a student when it comes to, your learning journey, I guess?
Being a teacher really helps me in learning German because I really like grammar. And so even though German grammar is very difficult, I kind of enjoy the pain. So that's not really a problem. I just have to use a lot of energy to memorize things. What I struggle with in the beginning is I kind of had an image of what a student had to be like. A student has to have notebooks, a student has to review everything 2 hours a day, and I wasn't doing that. So I felt like I was failing as a student, but over time I realized that I learn differently than other people. So I don't enjoy having a notebook, I don't enjoy sitting at my desk reviewing, but I enjoy playing on apps. I enjoy doing language exchange with people. I'm doing language exchange with three friends now for German. So I teach them Thai. I correct their Thai, and they correct my German. So I realized that being a good student does not mean that you have to have a lot of notebooks and take a lot of notes and read a lot of books and sit at your desk. It just means that you have to use the language.
Yeah, and I think to add into that, I think also one of the very important things about learning languages is always about the environment that you're in, because you mentioned that you have, your language exchange with 3 friends, and those 3 friends, I would assume that they're as eager, if not even more eager, to learn Thai as you are learning German. So having this sort of like connection with so many different people and having such a supportive environment, I think, is the best way to get not only your confidence up, but to learn even in a more efficient way and in a more fun way. And I really recommend people that are trying to learn for the first time, even a single new language, even if it's something closer to their mother tongue, to have yourself a nice environment. Because if people give you the wrong idea at first, that it's like, I have to take lessons and pay much money to find tutors, and like it can be very discouraging. But to tell them that, hey, actually having tutor can be very fun, there's a lot of enjoyment that you can get out of it, I think it will be the most important initial drive into creating, a fantastic language student and just getting that satisfaction of learning a new language.
And talking about the environment, actually, we would also love to know, how was it for you coming to Germany about like adjusting? Like, did you have to adjust a lot?
Before I came to Germany, I heard a lot of people say that German's really unfriendly. So I didn't expect to be friends with Germans, but I made friends with a lot of expats. I'm a part of the female expat group called GGI, Girl Gone International, and I'm the host of a co-host of our book club, which we meet once a month. And in this group, we are all expats, but a lot of us live here for so long already, and we just are friends with each other and we enjoy each other's company. So I didn't expect to be friends with German because I heard how unfriendly they are. But it's actually also not true in my case. I've met a lot of Germans who are very friendly to me. So I think that the stereotype is not really fair. It could be true for a lot of people. I'm sure that there are unfriendly people out there, but I just haven't really had to encounter them. Maybe because I just choose to ignore it if anything negative happened. So I focus on being friends with expats and notice whenever Germans are friendly to me. So that's my strategy.
Yeah.
Quite interesting. I think I have to, yeah, I mean, you say it quite right. I also have to defend the Germans here a bit. So I guess, yeah, it's just we're a bit more introvert, not as extrovert as a lot of other cultures. It's a cultural thing too. Then it's not hard to approach Germans. So I get that too. When I came to Berlin, actually, and I am German, it was easier for me to find expat friends before German friends.
Yeah. Yeah, but at the same time, it's like whenever you meet somebody, like in Germany, of course, each places have a different culture and a different average, I guess. But it's also very important to know that this sort of like generalizations can be pretty old-timey at this point. A lot of them stems from very old depiction, and especially nowadays with communities online and like the ability to be connected to so many people so quickly from a lot of different countries that are native from German, you will find that not all Germans are like this, but like I'd even argue that there's that this sort of depiction is sort of really wrong. I met people that are from Germany that have been pretty friendly and very welcoming and very open, but I also met a lot of people from a place like Italy that have been mega shy and mega introverted. I think it's very important to note that it's a very individual thing. There might be some cultural runoff, but especially with time, with things getting as connected as they are, things get a lot better for everybody. You can easily find people that you vibe with no matter where you are.
Yeah, it's a quite interesting thought that when the world is getting more globalized,
exactly,
all those kind of groups are more individualized.
Yeah, it's also important to, if you have some specific things that you're into, like niches and stuff, you can also find people that fit that niche so easily. So it's very interesting to see how these sort of depictions are, bleeding with time. I do sometimes like some of the little stereotypes of the Italian. I like the idea of them. At least I like, the funny, silly jokes that you can make out of it. But at a certain point, it must be known that things are changing and very rapidly.
Yes.
So you mentioned about even before the show or during the show, you mentioned about the pace of life in differences between, for example, from Thai to Germany. So has that, other than like the element about the planning things ahead, has your daily pace of life changed in the way that you plan out a week, or you just like do some activities?
So my life in Germany is calmer. I think because a lot of Germans are really, how do I say, they're really protective of their time. So they don't answer email after work. And over time, that just made me also that inspired me to also be protective of my time. I started to not feel as bad as before if I don't answer emails right away or if I wait a while. And then I allow myself to enjoy more things now. Like I have a hobby now, or I would hang out with friends without feeling guilty that I am not doing any work. While before in Thailand, in Bangkok, it's a very metropolitan city. So I couldn't help but feel kind of rushed. Even when people are out there enjoying themselves, playing tennis, playing badminton, hanging out, I still felt like it's pretty rushed there. So my life there, I can just lie on my couch and read a book. And yeah, I feel like in Germany, I feel less rushed.
Hmm. Yeah, that was pretty consistent with another episode that we had last time with a person that came in from Hong Kong, where he really notices the way that the workplace cultures are very different from a place like there and Germany. It's definitely a very unique lifestyle that a lot of people, especially expats or even international students in my case, are very, very excited about, but also very shocked about. So it's a very interesting direction that you can take it.
Yeah. And how has it actually felt for you navigating the professional and also the social relationships here in Germany?
So I'm not working in an office not working in an office environment, so I don't have to deal with Germans as a colleague. But I have some. But I heard secondhand stories from expat friends who have to work with Germans. I would say they confirm the stereotype that Germans don't really want to be friends with their colleagues. But a lot of my friends are friends with other international people. So yeah, but I do teach a lot of Germans Thai, and they are very respectful and they really are good students in general. So I don't have anything to complain about students who are German.
Okay, I might as well add that like some of the places, especially here in Germany, there is a very important element that especially here in Berlin, that a lot of companies portray their cultures very differently between each other. It is not like a very homogeneous culture-wise. So yeah, some people might have seen the more cold and calculative place of work, but some places are quite the opposite. They're a lot more bright, they're a lot more inviting, and they're a lot more, I say, patient with a lot of other different cultures. So especially if you're someone that is interested in going to work in Berlin or other places in Germany, just like do your research well about the company's cultures in an individual level. Generalizing it can be a little bit, I don't want to say dangerous, but it could be it could change your experience a lot.
Yeah.